Good afternoon, my lovelies. What it do, what it do, what it do. This Miss Yaakov coming straight from that Spiker Star, aka the Messenger, aka the Daughters of Zion, aka that Topaz Gem Sapphire. Hey, listen, always have a message for you, but it's up to you to discern. Miss Yaakov is trying to say, remember, I'm just an outsider looking into your world, seeing things that you just don't see, okay? But think this, the name of this is called He's in Error.
I gotta be plain with y'all. Okay, now, verse 3. Hear therefore, O Israel, speaking to the Israelites, and observe to do it. Moses telling you right here.
Okay, just a snippet of that. You want to know why he's in error? Because he has an empty menorah just sitting there with no lights. His menorah is supposed to be lit at all times. And I confronted him about that. I'm like, yo, you got smoke blowing in the background. Now, whether it's a blunt or a cigarette or a cigar or incense or whatever, he got smoke blowing in the background, but he has an empty menorah sitting there with no lights. And I confronted him about that, and he gonna have the nerve to say, oh, I should go get my husband. Husband of what? What does me having a husband got to do with you, with you having a menorah, an empty menorah sitting there with no lights? That just doesn't make any sense. I don't need to have a husband to ask you a question about the menorah. Simple. Then he started just going on, talking about all this extra stuff, talking about the second temple and this, that, and the third, and we ain't in the physical temple with this, that, and the third. I said the body is the temple. The body is the temple. Okay? And I said, okay, so we're going to go with your logic. I said, even if we're not in the second temple or in the physical temple, why do you have an empty menorah sitting there with no lights? It's not lit. It doesn't make any sense. You might as well just put the menorah to the side. Don't even show the menorah. What's the sense of showing the menorah and the menorah not lit? And then he just went on quoting a whole bunch of other stuff that doesn't have anything to do with the fact that he has an empty menorah just sitting there with no lights. It's not lit or anything, but he got the smoke going on in the background. Okay, so he is in error big time. And another thing is this. There's no way he's teaching the truth if he's not living the truth. Otherwise, his menorah would have been lit. Okay? And always remember, the spiritual pour on down to the physical, and vice versa. Okay, so even if he didn't have a physical menorah, his spiritual menorah should have been lit. But in this scenario, neither one was lit. The physical one ain't lit, and the spiritual one ain't lit. Okay, neither menorahs is lit, which means he's not teaching the truth and he's in error. And I didn't even want to listen to what he had to say. Okay, because he has no lights. And you got to be careful with these false teachers teaching these false doctrines. And another thing is this. People like that are confused within their own faith. And God made it clear that he is not the author of confusion. Okay? So he's in error big time. Talking about the Israelites, but he don't have no lights on in his menorah. Make it make sense. Just don't show the menorah. Just put the menorah to the side. There's no need to just having an empty menorah sitting there, calling yourself trying to teach, but there's no lights on in the menorah. But you got smoke going on in the background. It just doesn't make sense. You got to make it make sense. But anywho, I'm about to get on out of here. Got to be careful with these false teachers. They teach from the ways of their own hearts. Okay? They're not living the truth. Anybody who is not teaching the truth isn't living the truth. You can't teach the truth if you're not living the truth, okay? Anywho, I'm about to get on out of here. This is the Daughters of Zion. Next segment, we're going to talk about the importance and significance of the menorah, how important it is. Your lights have to be on at all time. He had no lights on his menorah. He's in error. His menorah is supposed to be lit, spiritually and physically. In this scenario, it was neither one. Okay? Anywho, this is the Daughters of Zion. That Spiker Star, the brightest star of the constellation. Looking into your world, see things that you just don't see. I'm going.